everybody, and welcome back to the Dead Funny Review Show. Jesus. I'm your host, Chris. Joining me today, my co-host, Cody, and Bravery. Jesus. I am just on fire today. Woo. Man, all right. Anyways, so
Yes, Chris is on fire.
bringing you guys what we told you that we would, which is that we would do one episode where we somewhat bitch about the last episode, but mainly talk about the series overall and how we feel now that it's done and gone. We've had a couple days, more than a couple days, almost a week to just digest Game of Thrones in total and how we feel. Not saying that it's going to change anybody's opinions, but it's
Or
maybe,
it could make it worse.
yeah,
The more
that's
time you
possible.
have to think about it.
That's also possible. It's like those motherfuckers. So
As you watch other review shows and start hearing more and more about reasons why you should be upset.
yeah, no shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That stuff's all over there. I mean, there's tons of review shows going on where it's you should be upset, you shouldn't be upset. Da, 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 da. I mean, I feel like you shouldn't tell people how they should feel about an episode. Personally, it's the way that I look at that. Everybody's gonna interpret it differently. So, you saying everybody that's mad, you shouldn't be mad. I don't think you should be saying that. So that's just my thoughts. If I want to be pissed off at a show, even if it's for the dumbest reason out there, that's my reason to be mad at a show. So
Opinions are opinions.
yeah. Oh well, it's content. I guess.
Respect others' opinions even if you don't agree.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think that people should be extremely hostile when debating and ruthless. Cut to the point.
I mean, I'm okay with debating. The debating part's fine.
I was in a college program. Me and Kelsey were both in this called Christ College, and it was like kind of we went to a Christian school, so that's why their honor college was called
Gotcha.
Christ College.
I was about to
And
ask,
it wasn't
what
like-
cult were you in? No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I know, right? A Lutheran one. But it wasn't really specifically about religion necessarily. It was like loosely the humanities, right? But it was a debate-based class. So every day you would come in and in a small group discuss something. And I was like hostile and mean all the time. And one time, like,
Why?
I swear to God, he walked on water. There's proof.
did
Like
you ask?
you were legitimately being hostile and mean, or like that was your persona for the
I'm
debate?
trying to think of the right way to put this. The way that I behave to me is friendly debate. I am told by others
It wasn't so
maybe
funny.
not so friendly. I think what it is that if I think something is like, if I think an argument is poorly developed or poorly thought out, I will express that in those words. And generally that is considered rude. Anyways, so me and this girl were going back and forth about some point that she was wrong about. And after the class,
You was wrong.
after the class, she came up and apologized because she felt that she had been too mean to me, which I think was maybe a slightly backhanded way of her telling me that we had both gotten too mean. And I was like, no, that's exactly how we should talk. But anyways, my point is, I do enjoy the amount of discourse around a show like Game of Thrones that there is, given how widespread this show is. Everyone wants to talk about it, which I think is good. And the quality of that discourse is going to vary, right? Like, there are going to be people that are just like, opinions are dumb. But then there's also a lot of like well thought out, interesting work being done about the show. And that's been one of my favorite things about it, is it's just become so culturally relevant and so widely talked about. It's kind of like a common language that a lot of different people speak. And I think in that
Yeah.
way, the show is really cool. Like, the downside of it is there are people that make like poorly, I don't know, I guess in poor taste videos about or like posts about the thing. But I'm glad that there is all of this discourse at all. And when you have public discourse, some of it's going to be terrible. So, you know, that happens.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is you're evil.
Yeah. It's not fun to talk. Like, if I'm debating with somebody, it's not like fun. No one's having fun anymore. It gets really intense because of my brother. It's the way I grew up talking, and then it just, like, you know, when you grow up with your family and there's a way that you guys talk, and then you get out into the wider world and you suddenly find out your family is weird and not everyone talks like
no
this.
idea. None at all. I've
Me and
never
my
experienced
brother,
that.
like, argued for fun, that was fun, is like trying to verbally get one up on each other. Turns out when you do that with other people, it just makes me a pain in the neck to talk to. So
I can completely relate. Like, family that has a very aggressive argument style. So I could actually probably say it's probably the exact same for me, where I went into the world and realized that people don't respond well to direct confrontation, and I had to learn how to be open. Not I was always open-minded, but be more receptive and not be aggressive, so people felt more comfortable. Because
yeah,
not everyone is the same way.
yep, that is very true. But
Like, you have a
anyways,
bubble. Game
yeah,
of
the
Thrones.
Game of Thrones, the thing that we're actually talking about. No, but I do think that there is like a lot of quality conversations that went on about the show, and also it just brought like divergent people together. Like when I would go to work, there'd be people that like, you know, normally don't have a lot to talk about, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, do you watch Game of Thrones?" And it's like, "Yeah, do you? Why? Why do you though?" You know.
Same thing with gaming. People be like, "So you watch that episode of Game of Thrones?" Random people, like,
Yep.
yeah, it's everywhere.
I also like
it
the
is-
other side of that too. I got this guy that I watch who's fucking hilarious on YouTube, and he does like these short skits, and I mean they range from literally anything. Like I mean anything. And then he had one whenever the season was coming back. It was like because he had one for Avengers, and it was like how do you avoid spoilers at the Avengers? And like he literally is fucking like putting a blindfold on. He threw his phone in the trash. Like fucking drove to the theater with blindfold on. As soon as he got out of the car, he put his hands up to his ears. He's just like nah 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 nah. Until he got all the way to the ticket booth. It's pretty funny. His name's on YouTube. It's Long Beach Griffey. It's fucking hilarious. And then he had this other skit for the Game of Thrones, and it's like when you find out that your friend doesn't watch Game of Thrones, and it was just like, yo man, did you have this with Game of Thrones last night? He's like, nah man. He's like, what do you mean nah? Well, I don't watch Game of Thrones. What happened to you as a child? Like, why do you choose to be unhappy? Like,
What's wrong with you?
You know, one of my friends that doesn't watch it brought that up as kind of a question. It's just like, why he asked me why I thought the show was so prolific, because he's like, it's a show with swords and dragons. Why do people watch this show with swords and dragons? And I think that's a valid question. I'm curious what you would all think about that. Like, why did this show become as relevant as it did?
I think personally, I think a lot of people are actually more interested in the medieval times than people lead on to believe. I mean, even when I go to Renaissance fairs like that, I mean, there's fucking people everywhere, and I just think that this is like the first time that we've gotten something where it actually had like a big enough budget to be a solid fucking show.
Yeah,
its time,
at least in
and be
television.
medieval.
Yeah,
exactly. So I think it was a lot easier for people to gravitate to that, and then once we've getting like CGI fucking dire wolves and dragons and shit, like it became just this epic show where everybody was like, "Oh my fucking god!" And it had that classic, which I don't like to refer to it, but it's kind of true. It had that classic drama of a soap opera, where it's like, "Oh my god,
yeah.
no, he didn't." Da da da.
Yeah.
Find out next week what happens, type deal, you know. So it kind of hit on multiple levels. And because it was something that was, I mean, in my opinion, like I said, I think it's the first medieval time show to be done on this caliber. Like, that makes it
in
new. It makes it
television.
unique.
Yeah,
it makes it unique.
yeah. Well,
I
and
know-
I think that was one of those things that you can almost draw a line from Lord of the Rings. Like, there was a big gap of kind of like high fantasy movies for a while. Like, they were popular for a long time, or even like period pieces in medieval times. Because you look at something like Braveheart, or like the terrible, who was it? The Robin Hood that came out in the 90s. There's like a bunch of these terrible movies
Right.
that all came out. And then there was like a big gap where there was nothing. And then Lord of the Rings was like, oh my gosh, you could do it well. And then ever since then, I feel like a lot of things have been trying to copy that. Because that's like, after that, a bunch of those big like fantasy things came out. And I think Game of Thrones was kind of on those coattails. But then now itself, you can see it spawned so many imitators trying to capture the magic that was this show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think a lot of it was quality. Like, it's just so well done,
Oh, absolutely.
particularly in the
Definitely
early
budget-wise,
seasons.
yeah, for sure. That's definitely one of the big hitters. 'Cause, I mean, we've seen these shows done before. We've seen these movies done before, and a lot of them were shit. Some of them were good. Some of them, I think, don't get the recognition they deserve. I mean, one of my favorite movies to this day is fucking Black Death, and that's fucking phenomenal. And it's a goddamn medieval show about paladins, and Mr. Sean Beam is the lead paladin.
Right.
Wait,
But the
was
real
he?
question
Yeah.
Oh my
is,
gosh, I
though,
forgot about that. I've seen that movie. I forgot
He's the
it.
lead paladin, and fucking spoiler alert, he fucking dies. Believe it or not. Fucking
Oh
Sean Bean
yeah, I
died.
remember
Yeah.
it now. I remember
you
that
guys like
now.
everything.
I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
that was his best death, in my opinion. Like, a lot of people say Lord of the Rings. Fuck that. Watch Black Death. That shit was great. Like, this whole time trying to figure out why this plague is happening, and these people are dying to the plague, and they're like, oh, it's this witch. She's bringing dead people back to life. He finally tracks her down. They get fucking slipped some drugs, fall asleep, wake up. He's all tied up and shit, and she's about to rip him in half with two fucking horses running the opposite direction. And then he's all like, do me one favor. And she's like, what's that? And he's like, just take off my shirt, please. And so she just rips his shirt open, and then you just see all these fucking boils and shit on his body. And she's like, what is that? And he's just all like, the plague. Fear in God has now been restored. And then the horses just rip him apart. And I was like, let's fucking go, dude. Yes. Yes. That was such a badass move. I was like, let's fucking go. He's like, I want you to know you guys are fucked.
Chris, I don't think you took the right thing away from that movie.
I don't think I did either, but it was great.
Witches aren't real in that movie. he
Yeah,
just
I know.
killed someone because he was nuts.
Yeah, exactly. But it was
So,
great.
I think what set this show apart from other shows, in my opinion, is characters, even your most favorite characters, were not safe. And you didn't know if they
Well,
were going to live or not. And they
Up
were
until
willing.
season 6, yes, I agree. Then after that, it
To
was, if it
take
was the main
away-
character, they're alive.
Yeah, I mean, they were willing to take away people that you loved, and it was still a good build up. There was a good story to it, and I think they developed the characters really well. And you could tell it's a good show because they even had episodes that were god awful boring, but you still had a passion for the show.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
even if it came up to a spot where, like, once again, I've said 1,000 times I wasn't a fan of Danny, I would have to suffer through a Danny moment, but I knew sooner or later I was going to get back to the Starks, and I was excited to see what the fuck was
Okay.
going on over there.
Ha-
you know?
Hang on. Okay, so we need to address a couple things about what you just said because it's hilariously wrong.
Dude, I don't
Okay,
think-
check
Chris?
this out.
Chris or me? Chris.
Chris, I agree with you mostly about Daenerys, right? Like, she was kind of meh. She's okay. I was okay with her. I always thought she was going to be bad, so, it's whatever. Sansa Stark is the worst in the early seasons of this
Oh,
show.
for
She's
sure.
bad.
But
Oh
I
my
said Starks. I said Starks, plural.
She's one of them.
I know, but not the
every
main
time.
one. Not the main
Oh,
one, but it's like fucking. I mean,
gosh.
the way I felt with Danny was like, if I wanted to watch Lord of the Rings, I would just go watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I know
Like,
what you mean by
I don't
that.
need you to take fucking 6 seasons to finally make it to Westeros. Like, I get it. All right, you're fucking on a journey. Got it. Like, we could have wrapped that shit up. They could have literally.
Don't talk about my Danny like
They
that,
coulda
okay?
cut
Calm down.
They could have cut that journey in half and used the other half to actually build her character to turn insane versus just doing it in one episode. That's how much time they spent just making her fucking slowly like, all right, well, today we walked 5 paces. Good job, everybody. Let's camp for the night. Like,
I think
didn't need
that,
all that.
like, for me, if I had to point to something that set this show apart, it would really be Tyrion Lannister. As, like, it was weird because I feel like everyone kind of instinctively knew, like, oh, the Starks are the good guys, right? Like,
yeah,
the Starks are
you got
cool.
that
We like them.
because they were honorable.
Yeah, and then
Sean Bean did
like-
a perfect job of setting that up for that house for sure.
and then as soon as the show starts, it's like, why is a Lannister my favorite character?
Yeah, they're dicks.
Why is a Lannister the best person here? I'm confused. It puts you off balance that way because Tyrion is such a, like, fun character and also a relatable one that it's, like, hard to really hate the Lannisters ever because you're always kind of rooting for Tyrion. Like,
Yeah.
please never have Tyrion and Robb Stark in a battle, please, because I want them both to live.
Yeah.
But he's just like solid gold from the beginning. Like, I forgot a lot of stuff about him. Like, he saved Jon Snow's life at one point. Like Jon Snow shows up to the Night's Watch and he just like kicks the crap out of every like little peasant that is in the Night's Watch, and then they're gonna murder him. And Tyrion just walks in and he's like, I'm just memorizing all your faces so I can get you executed for murdering my friend here. And then like tells Jon off for being a jerk. And I'm like, freaking Tyrion's the one that set Jon Snow up to be a good person, you know? It's like, I don't know, it's just he's such a lovable character, and he always has the most fun lines, you know?
Yeah.
And I
He's
think
a great actor. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And especially by the end of the show, I feel like most of the acting chops were sitting with Peter Dinklage, because he kind of became the old man of the show when all the real old people died.
Yeah.
honestly, he's probably, like, if I were to be honest, like, he's probably my favorite actor in the show. His acting ability and how he
Yeah.
portrayed the character. Daenerys is my favorite character, and I think she's probably my second favorite. But Glitch just acts so well.
Yeah, he did, and he brought a lot to that role. Like,
It's always so funny hearing that though, because like, oh, Peter Dinklage fucking acted so well, he was so good, and just to know like his role in Destiny was just so short due to acting.
Some people shouldn't be voice actors, and I feel like he's one of them.
Yeah.
He does a lot of work with his face, and I'm guessing he did not take doing video game voiceover seriously.
Yeah.
But, you know, they probably paid him enough money to show up and sit in a mic booth for
They should have hit
a
him with
day.
that fucking Nathan Fillion treatment. Shouldn't have been like a little fucking floating bot. They should have had like a fucking life-size version of Peter Dinklage in there, like a little cyborg or something, so he could still get his face acting on. And they did Nathan Fillion and fucking ODST and shit.
Was Nathan Fillion in ODST?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
he was Gunnery Sergeant Buck, and he was in ODST, and then they brought him back for Halo 5 as well. He's actually one of the Spartans on Sergeant Locke's team. Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep. He's actually a huge fan of the series, and he actually reached out to Bungie and asked if there was any time he could ever come by and do some voice lines for him. They're like, fucking voice lines, we'll put you in the fucking game. You're fucking awesome. You're Nathan fucking Fillion, of course. So
Yeah,
he
I
showed
think
up
the
and
the
brought
like
him with
Venn
him.
diagram of Nathan Fillion and Halo fans is like, boop, these are the same group of people.
Easily. He's so fucking good. Like
I love Nathan Fillion.
I could legitimately have him in anything, and I'd be okay with it. It doesn't matter. It literally just doesn't fucking matter. Anything, and I think he's actually trying to get the role of Nathan Drake whenever they go do those fucking movies, and I think he'd be fucking great for that. It's basically the male version.
Who's that?
Basically the male version of Tomb Raider.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I was
from
aware
the
of this.
Uncharted series. Yep.
Yep.
That's something else he's looking into. Like I said, I'd be okay with him being. I mean, he could have been in Game of Thrones, and I would have been fine with that too. So.
Okay, so Game of Thrones. What was the best scene and what was the worst scene?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Worst scene would have to be season 8, episodes 1 through 6. Best scene was Jon Snow. Oh man, see, I've got like 3 scenes that are like perfectly tied for first place, but I'll have to go with my Snow one since Snow's behind me. So Jon Snow finally making it through the gate and just beating the living fuck out of fuckface. I can't remember his name. He's been dead for so long, fucking long.
I don't remember him
Ramsay.
beating up
Ramsay's
anyone.
Bolton.
Yeah, Ramsay.
But yeah.
That was such a good fucking scene, and that's something I wanted to say because you were talking about that earlier. Was like, that was what was big for me for the show, was the fact that there were consequences. Like the show easily lost consequences when season 7 came out. It just, there were no consequences.
Yeah.
And having consequences, like literally, I mean, because jumping on the Stark train day 1, I mean, I felt like I was literally getting fucked by the show every time an episode came out. I was like, all right, cool, Ned Stark's my favorite, bam, decapitated. All right?
Yeah.
Cool, moving on. Robb Stark's my favorite, bam, dead. I'm like, well, fuck me. Now Catelyn Stark's dead. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, please, for the, hopefully because your last name is Snow and not Stark, you won't die. So I'm putting all my fucking coins left on you, bro. Please. And then Jon Snow died, and I was like, fuck! Are you serious? Are you serious? Once he died, I literally didn't know who my favorite character was going to be. I was like, I still had to root
Period.
for the Starks, But
Oh,
like, I need
no.
like an
Boo.
actual favorite character, and I don't think like Sansa and Arya are up there for me at that point. Damn sure wasn't gonna be Theon. That's for fucking sure.
My favorite scene, I want to say it's something with Tyrion, but the reality is it's not. I think the best scene in the show is where Jaime Lannister tells Brienne why he killed the Mad King. Like, when you want to talk about A-list acting Oscar moments, it's that guy like crying, like seeing Jaime Lannister break down and cry about why he did this thing that ruined his honor for the rest of his life, when they had set up many times that all Jaime Lannister cares about is people's opinion of him. He pretends not to, but he is like, oh, I'm the greatest guy, and then just had to like abandon his oaths, and everyone that he respected hated him for it for the rest of his life. And to me, like, going back and looking at that now adds so much more interest to the character of like Ned Stark, because everyone's just like, oh, he's good guy, right? Look at him, he's good guy, he's honorable. And it's like, well, yeah, except he was wrong about Jaime Lannister all this time. Like, he was wrong about them, and Catelyn Stark was wrong about Tyrion, and the Starks screwed a lot of stuff up, you know. And I think,
don't know if I'd say he was wrong about Jaime. He said one thing to Jaime, and that's my second favorite scene of all time. That's the other one that was tied with it, which is whenever they're sitting there talking in front of the Iron Throne, and Jaime's wearing his shiny gold armor, and he's all like, that gold armor, not a scratch on it. And he's all like, yeah. It's like, I can't remember what Jaime said, but then Stark's like, or Ned Stark's like,
he said he chooses his opponents well.
yeah. And it was like a whole fucking nod at the fact that he stabbed the Mad King in the back. It's like, you choose your opponents very well.
And saved the whole city that then Daenerys burnt down to the ground anyways, but you know what I mean.
She came back to finish what Daddy started.
Yeah, for real.
Who need people to rule?
I think that scene was just so excellent, and I think it brought so much perspective to this conflict that from the onset of the show is very one-sided. Like, Tywin Lannister is a monster who sends the Mountain out to like rape and kill the countryside on a whim, just to like
one hell of a
irritate
fucking
people.
like, I mean, that dude, best master of war you could fucking have. Like,
who, Tyrion or Tywin Lannister?
Oh
yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
Holy
his introduction to the show is so good too.
So good.
He's just like ripping a deer apart, lecturing his son, like, woof.
Yep.
Man, this guy's but also a great actor that was in the show. And I think my least favorite scene is, this is kind of a weird one, but it's like the third time Dany tries to kind of jump Jon's bones after they find out they're related, and it's when she's like, do you love me or whatever?
Oh,
and
whenever they were in front of the fireplace.
Yeah, and then she's like, I guess it'll be fear then, kind of implying that she burnt down a city because of a lack of D in her life, which is pretty offensive when you look at it from that perspective, that like Daenerys, this feminine empowerment figure, is like, why'd you go crazy at the end? My boyfriend wouldn't sleep with me. Like, wow, good, the show got stupid.
I mean, if that's where they were gonna go with it, they should just went up full out, where she's just like throws the fucking glass of wine down. She's like, "Fuck me, or they all die."
No, but
unfortunately, it did kind of turn into that, because not only did that happen, but Jaime fucked Brienne and then just left. It was like, it turned into like a fuck someone and then bounce, or fuck someone, destroy a city. You know.
Yeah, it got real. I think it didn't understand its own, like. It's tricky because the books have a lot of sex in them, so I understand that the show is going to, but I think the issue is that really throughout the whole life of the show, they have not treated the kind of delicate sexual relationships in the show with nearly as much like care and respect as Martin did, and Martin didn't even do that good of a job at that, so it was like already kind of bad. Because he's like, I mean, he is who he is, so he's writing from one perspective. And then it just got worse in the show. So I think that's something that they were screwing up from the beginning and then just stayed screwing up at the end.
See, I think
and it
what
just got
happened
worse.
is that the directors / head writers were in there, and they're all like, and then Jaime, before he goes to go on his next quest, then ends up running in to Anakin Skywalker and buys his new pod racer and also another lightsaber, and then the other guys were like, hey, we just got to get through these fucking 6 episodes, man. That's all we have to do. Okay, and then we can write the story. And he's like, yeah, right. Okay, what do you want me to do then? Well, Jaime Lannister can't have a lightsaber. I don't know. Make him fuck Bran. Okay, just make him fuck Bran. Just throw it in
And
there.
that would have been fine if that had been the resolution of that character. But it was just like, for me, that was like a moment I was happy with. Because they were like, those two had been built up in a very certain way. And it worked. And then it was just like, I'm still in love with my sister though, so peace. Like,
I fucked you, I'm out.
like that's pitiful. That's pretty
I
bad.
would say like the big thing is like it turned into cliche shit. Like you had sex with her and then you bounced. The Daenerys went like a crazy little girl. It's supposed like the stereotypical emotional girl
Yeah.
and freaked out
Yeah.
after John wouldn't be with her and killed a bunch of people. It's just like it turned into like really cliche things. And not to say that maybe stuff like that wouldn't happen, but it was just a lot of cliche stuff and very poorly developed last season, short amount of time episodes, basically.
Yeah, and that really didn't make sense for Daenerys' character, who like throughout the show, like after she's with Drogon,
Khal
like,
Drogo.
after her husband, like her first husband dies, she becomes very like cavalier and utilitarian about sex, where she's just like, hey, I find that guy attractive. Get over here and take off your pants. And that's just kind of how she treats certain people, you know? And then all of a sudden it's just like, now I'm in love and it makes me insane. Like, what? That wasn't how you were at all before. Like, that was not your character. Kind of the opposite, but whatever. Let's just skip it, you know?
I think that the writers didn't fully, and this is just my opinion, it feels like they didn't understand what the source material. I think they were very confident. I think Chris May said this about that they could just take it on and produce it and be perfectly fine. When really they should have just asked the population, I guess, what they love the most about the show. Try to figure that out, because it doesn't seem like they captured what was great about the show when they wrote it on their own.
No, and that is, like I said, I started watching season 1 halfway through season 8. Like, again, I just started rewatching it. And the way the dialogue works, the conflicts in the show, there's like no fighting in it. It's like all backstabbing, you know, like the big kind of climactic scene in season 1 isn't even a fight. It's a fight that doesn't happen. Like, Ned Stark goes to arrest the queen. He thinks he has the backing of Littlefinger and therefore the City Watch to capture the queen, and then he gets stabbed in the back, and that's the end of the fight. And they don't show the rest of the fight because that's not what mattered. What mattered was that Ned Stark screwed up all of his wheeling and dealing to try to capture the queen and then failed as a result, which, oh my gosh, it is infuriating to rewatch. Like, there's a scene where Renly Baratheon is like, Ned, my brother's about to die. You say the word and we will capture Joffrey, let him remain king, and I will give you 100 men, loyal men, to serve, to do this task. And Ned Stark's like, no, I don't want your men. Screw you. And he's like, are you sure, Ned? And Ned's like, I don't want them. I don't need them. I got 3 guys. One of them's dead, but, you know, I got these 3 guys. I have Littlefinger. We're best friends now. I think he wants to have sex with my wife. It's fine. My brother nearly murdered him. We're good. The Starks ruin everything. Moral of the story.
Right.
I disagree.
So, my best scene is where Daenerys comes out of the fire with the dragon eggs. Like,
That's pretty cool.
I love that scene. I thought it was a great idea. Pretty cool. She lost Khal Drogo, and she got her little babies out of it. Who knows what they were doing in that fire?
And it was well set up too, because there's like scenes where she grabs like hot coals and they don't burn her hands. Like, they kind of set that up a little bit. That was cool though. I liked that.
Yeah. So that's my favorite scene. The really poorly done scene, I actually may be biased about this, but I really did not like the scene where Daenerys goes crazy and kills a bunch of people. It didn't.
Even you didn't like the scene of ruthless character assassination? You didn't like that part?
Yeah, it didn't really stick out to you.
Oh. No, I mean, I'm like, I can admit, okay, I will fully admit I may be slightly biased, but I I noted the other things that could have made her crazy, and I can reflect back on them, but it still seemed too quick, and I did not like the development, and I also felt that she would never ever kill a bunch of innocent people. Like it seemed very misplaced anger because she's always been logical enough to know who her enemies are, and it would have been at Cersei, not these innocent people that are supposed to be her following.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. I thought that was pitifully done, and again, was just like a hallmark of bad writing. I feel like they probably knew that needed to happen. Like Daenerys needed to kind of have an evil turn as the result of her ambition. You know what I mean? Like I think that's the moral, if you would, of the story is like, right, Daenerys started out as a good person, but ambition kind of corrupted her. But that's not really why she went crazy. Like it just doesn't make any sense at all why she went crazy. And like I know there's all the arguments, and this again kind of like looking at the show as a whole is like, oh well, she's lost so many friends. Like, you know, she lost Missandei and she lost Jorah. And I'm like, yeah, but she's lost a lot more people than that before and not killed everybody. Like, she's lost a ton. Like, there are a lot of like people that were with her from season 1 that all got killed, and she did not burn down a whole city for that. So I'm like, so why? Like, she didn't burn down a whole city when Drogo died.
She didn't even lose Jon. It's not like Jon died. Jon's still there. He, in fact, still shows signs of loving her, just that he can't. So, I mean, it's not like
he doesn't want to bang his aunt. Yeah,
well, that's fair. Phil, personally, I feel like that's okay. But
so yeah, I mean, passion for this show still, and I was talking to a few people how I really just want them to even possibly wait till the last books come out and then just redo the last 2 seasons.
Well, and I think there's a possibility of that, like way down the road with a new cast of people and maybe in a different format. Like I could see them doing something animated with it, or maybe something live action again, just kind of further down the road. But I do hope they eventually release the books now. Like I've watched so many interviews with Martin now that I'm like, kind of want those books to come out so I can read them, but then I'll have to read them, and that's its own kind of pain.
Yeah, I don't know. Just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I mean,
Have either of you read the books?
I read some of them.
No,
I didn't
but I
finish
really
it.
want to.
Yeah, I got like really deep into it, and I was gonna continue to like try to plow through them, but that didn't end up working out. So
Yeah, I can understand that. Also, Bravos is my favorite place in the world, and Game of Thrones made Bravos, so I kind of like it for that too.
there you go.
I think it's just the coolest city. Like, once I learned more about Bravos' backstory, I'm like, this is the coolest place in the world. They elect their king, they're a city of freed slaves. They're like a bunch of swashbucklers. I'm like, I love this place. This is cool.
Yeah.
They have this weird church of assassins. Like, man, this is some good setting work that's being done here. But, you know,
Yeah.
they didn't do much with it, so.
So I guess if you had to pick, I mean, because we all know what season fucking Game of Thrones fell the fuck off on. That's not hard to fucking choose. If you had to pick which season was the hypest season, like overall hype,
Oof, dude, I don't remember seasons.
like where you think it was like at its fucking peak, I would probably have to say like, I mean, I feel like it was early on. I'd say either the Red Wedding or the Purple Wedding. It was easily like.
I was
people
gonna
were
say the
all
Red
fucking about
Wedding.
That shit.
I think the Red Wedding was really where the show took a turn, and you started realizing that, like, Joffrey probably wasn't going to just get beat. Because that was, I think the Red Wedding was the same season where they didn't, not Renly, the other frickin' one. Stannis didn't take. Really, that whole thing with Stannis and him trying to attack King's Landing and failing was like my favorite Tyrion parts. Because that was when he was Hand of the King and had to, like, the whole part where Tyrion becomes Hand of the King and then serves as Hand of the King is such a great part of the show. And then, I mean, after that, he kind of gets swept off to the side because his dad shows up, and then that's kind of what leads to, you know, his dad getting killed and him running off with Daenerys. But that part where he's running the city and trying to manage Joffrey and basically just slapping him in the face.
Shit was-
I really wanted to say my favorite scene was anytime Joffrey got slapped in the face by Peter Dinklage.
that shit was
but-
good.
That's a little fan servicey, but I still loved it when he's just like, smack, like, you're an idiot.
That was such a good scene. Oh, I agree with you. I love that scene.
Yeah.
I just recently watched that. That was
Also, do you remember the part where King Joffrey gets sent to bed because he's tired? Like,
by
he's
Cersei.
like-
Cersei?
yeah, well, kind of. He yells at Tywin, and Tywin's just like, maybe you should go to bed. And he's like, I'm not tired. I'm not. It's like, oh, you're the most petulant puke, and Tywin does not care about you. Oh, it's so funny. I love those. Anytime Tywin and Tyrion are just ripping on Joffrey were great scenes.
Also, Game of Thrones is like the only series that makes you want people to die slightly. Like
Oh, I wanted Joffrey to
the
die.
characters
yeah.
to die. I mean, I feel bad saying it, but Joffrey was evil, and you're just like, please get rid
Joffrey
of
was my
him.
fucking hero. Alright, that was my dude. I was like, let's fucking go. He was all like, I can just kill whores with a crossbow. I was like, let's fucking go. This is my hero right here. Cutting people's tongues out for talking shit. Let's fucking go.
Oh,
Oh, I remember that. Oh, that was a good scene. It's a good scene. That poor minstrel that sung a song about Robert Baratheon getting killed by a pig.
ooh, I got one, guys. Okay, so what was the hardest
Alright,
to
and that's
watch?
gonna do it for this episode.
Okay, what was the hardest to watch? Cersei and Jaime fucking?
That was easy to watch. What are you
Yeah,
talking
that was
about?
easy.
Hold
watch.
on, hold on. Jaime fucking? The
That
bait.
was like incest, yes.
Can you let me finish? Okay.
No.
The kid sucking on that queen's teat. I can't remember.
Oh, Robin.
breastfeeding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Robin and the Vale.
Danny and John fucking. Or watching dick cut off.
Why can't I remember it now? Greyjoy.
Theon.
Theon. Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting his dick cut off. Anyone else want to add one more?
I'm trying to think of what the most
Cringe-worthy
difficult part of
scene?
the show for me to watch
I-
was, where I wasn't just like smiling manically from ear to
Yeah,
ear.
I can't think of like a show that, or a part that was.
Oh,
I guess.
anytime Sansa was on screen, yeah, that was the parts for me that I was like nauseous. Oh no, I know what it was. It was the one where Sansa was talking smack at her sept. So the septas were like the nuns that would hang out with like fancy ladies.
Mhm.
And there's one where Sansa just starts being really mean to like her nanny, and I'm like, oh, I hate you, Sansa. That was disgusting to watch. That's my most disgusting scene.
Okay, well, we'll add that one to there. Okay, so which one's that's your most disgusting scene
that's
out
my
of all
most
those?
disgusting scene.
Okay, Chris.
I don't really have one to add. I just don't.
Cringe-worthy. It's cringe-worthy. Just made you physically cringe. Like mine was definitely the kid sucking at her teat. Like I was
That
like,
was pretty bad.
I was cringing at that one.
Having rewatched it, I am honestly curious how they shot it, because they kind of had to have had a prosthetic boob, like a prosthetic like milk-filled boob sack to like put on top of her dress. Because what I'm guessing they didn't do was have that actual kid sucking on this woman's boob.
That would have
That'd be
been
pretty
one
horrifying.
interesting sell. Okay, so look. The kid's on board with it. This is what we need you to do.
So I have to imagine they had to have, because it was also like squirting milk out of it, you know?
That's CGI. The tit was real. Milk was CGI. Easily.
But
easily.
man, it did not look like a puppet, is my point. So I'm just like, what? Like I rewatched that scene and then I just like really thought about the logistics a lot, and I'm like, how
Just
did?
to be clear, Cody was getting close to his screen, trying to look at the
Well,
boobs. Like, I'm doing this for logical reasons. Okay, guys, calm down. I need to stare.
It
at
is
this.
kind of in passing, you know. It's like a wide shot, and you can just see him up there being like, like.
Thank God he didn't make that noise.
Yeah, right. I mean,
I wish he would have. It would have been better.
there was some audio there. There was some definite slurping noises going on. And also Catelyn's face when she sees her sister and she's like, "Oh no. Oh no, she's gone nuts."
She's
Yeah,
fucking
I
crazy.
agree that- Yeah, that was pretty nauseating. Ugh. Chris, you still haven't given us your most disgusting scene.
I can't think of one. I literally can't think of one. Like all the deaths,
Oh,
like
shite.
even the stuff that would like anything that's cringeworthy to me just means that I thought it was bad, and that just means any one of my favorite characters dying. Other than that, I didn't really care. Like I
I don't
can't-
think there were any unjustified deaths, really. Like, I thought all of them were like,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
not saying that they're not justified. It just obviously me being biased. I didn't want my fucking characters to die.
You done
But-
screwed up, Rob.
It's like, I mean, I can't think of like a cringe like the sex
You
scenes.
know
that doesn't.
nothing, Jon Snow.
Sex scenes don't bother me whatsoever. Like that is what it is. I mean, fucking yeah, Jamie and Cersei are related, but the actors obviously are not. So it's like it's not like real incest. So I'm not like, oh my god, what the fuck.
How about when that old dude was touching on all those
Oh!
young girls?
Oh, I got it.
Craster was pretty nasty.
I got it. So obviously, everybody does shit like this, where it's like, oh, fucking, let's
Everyone does shit like this.
yeah, everybody does shit like this, where it's like,
I
okay,
think we're about to find out something you do, Chris. Don't put this on us.
no, it's everybody, where it's like, who's the most attractive chick on the show, or who's the most attractive guy on the show? I got fucking jebaited. Okay, this fucking happened. I got jebaited like shit. All right, so to me, the most attractive chick on the show was easily Marjorie. Natalie Dormer is a very attractive woman.
Oh, I forgot who Marjorie was. Sorry.
Okay.
Took
Anyways,
me a minute.
but we were going down the list of people you wouldn't like look at, and honestly, I didn't find anything visually unappealing about the Red Queen. So then I was all like, well, I don't want to be the guy to jump on the hype train, so you know what? She's going to be Bae of the show. It'd be the Red Queen. And then she took her necklace off and aged to be like 2000, and I was like, fuck me. Tony and them did not let me live that shit down. Did not let me live that shit down. I was
The-
like,
the one-
you gotta be fucking shitting me, dude.
The one that took me aback, like, it's been a really long time since Rob Stark has been in the show. And I think all of us are just like, oh yeah, you know, Jon Snow's an attractive actor for sure.
Absolutely.
And then he stands next to his brother, like Rob Stark, the King of the North, the original one. And I'm like, Jon Snow looks like a smashed potato compared to his
Whoa!
brother.
Whoa!
He's all like sharp nose and
Whoa!
cheekbones. He like
Whoa!
pulls off the commanding thing. Like
You
this
calm
like
down.
giant old man is like, "You're nothing, boy." And he's like, "Call me boy again," you know? And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, why did the hot one have to die?"
If
I was
by
so
some
disappointed.
crazy, random way you end up seeing this Kit Harington, you're the most attractive man on the show. Don't let Cody fucking
No,
talk you
what?
down.
No, he's
Easily.
he's not even the most
Easily.
attractive person left in the show at
Bull
the end of it.
fucking shit. Get out of here.
No, I'm being fully serious, Davos.
Quit your shit.
Khal Drago, hello.
No.
Okay. So, like, if you look at them outside of their acting, they look completely different. Like, no one even recognizes Emilia Clarke and who she is most of the time.
Yeah, because she doesn't have blonde hair.
Well, she has super thick eyebrows, too. And she's like, they actually said this in the comments once, that they have to, like, restrain her back from her eyebrows going up and down, like cat, because they just move when she talks. And it's just absolutely adorable, but
I
she
like-
looks nothing
I like how
Daenerys.
you said they told you that in the comments. I told you that like fucking forever ago when we first started talking about like Game of Thrones as like a group.
Oh,
Hang on, wait.
I'm
She
sorry.
she actually went on and they were talking about it and she literally referred to her eyebrows as the scene in Viva Pinata when the two caterpillars go to mate. So like they literally had to get her to try to focus on her eyebrows alone while she's doing these like super serious scenes, and her eyebrows need to be straight. Like we'll watch her in any fucking time she's like watching or talking about anything. Her eyebrows are all over the fucking. She's got a very expressive face, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Other hot character that no one's mentioned yet, Tormund Giantsbane. I mean, come on, look at that guy.
Hodor!
Hodor.
Yeah.
You get a full frontal nude scene of him.
Do we?
Yeah.
Did I like blank that from my memory?
Probably.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently.
It's
you did.
Bran's just like chilling. It's when oh gosh, what was the wildling who was kind of a slave who was like Bran's friend sort of
The
until
one that was dragging him through on the fucking whatever forever.
Yeah.
No,
She
she
her
was
and
mainly
Bran are
taking care
chilling.
of the other one, right? The fucking. You talking about the older lady?
No,
Oh.
the wildling that tries to kill Bran and then Rob captures her and then is like, "Well, I guess you're my servant now."
Yeah, it's the older lady. She was older than Bran.
Well, yeah, she was
Yeah,
older than
that's what I
Bran,
meant.
but she
That's what I
wasn't
meant.
like
she wasn't
an old
No,
woman.
no, yeah, I know. who
She
you're
was
talking about.
she was Tonks from Harry Potter, which I find
She
hard
was
to-
basically just taking care of fucking Bran and fucking
Yeah.
little shitlord. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, right. Shaggy Dog and Rickon.
Rickon, there
the
you
one
go.
that like went feral and was just creeping around the place. I think Rickon was like the original Bran Stark, where he would just show up and stare at people like
It's just no one
He's a
gave a shit
freaking
about
weird
him
little kid. Yeah,
at all.
yeah, because everyone left and he was like.
Well,
not
that
old
was
enough
even the
to-
more sad part is like when we finally got him back and he was going to get saved by John, the entire time I was just like, while John was sitting there just staring, before he started running, I was just like, John, I need you to listen to me, all right? He's not even your real brother, okay? Like, don't go out there and die for him. He's not worth it. He didn't even try to zigzag. He just ran in a straight fucking line.
Well, I mean, he was like 10.
So? You tell me at 10 years old if someone's like, I'm going to shoot at you, but I'm going to let you get a head start. You're not going to at least try to fucking run like in a zigzag? Nothing?
Yeah,
I'd be
you're right.
doing-
Jon Snow should have been like serpentine.
I would have been doing crazy shit.
Serpentine!
It wouldn't even have been zigzagging. I would have been running, then I'd go to zigzag, then I'd drop on the ground, roll, then I'd jump up in the fucking air. I mean, I'd be doing all kinds of shit. Fucking busting out cartwheels. Like, I'd be doing everything I could to fucking dodge arrows. Fuck that
think-
nonsense.
I think if they asked me to do that, I would get 5 feet away, stub my toe on a rock, and fall down, and my pants would probably fall down in the process. And then I would just lay there and get shot in the face. It's
Cody's
like,
just laying there. He's like, can we take a break? Can we take a break?
Can we redo this so I don't look stupid?
Please,
I'm
please.
not good at life-threatening situations.
So, since we're really close on time here, if we had to put the season in the top 5, or I'm sorry, I guess let me rephrase that. Does the overall show make it in your top 5 of TV shows?
Does
Top
anime
5.
count?
No, we're talking real life TV shows.
Ooh, then
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, cool. Top.
I don't think there's
3.
anything that compares with it, really.
Okay, so top 1 for you then.
Ah,
This is
man, maybe.
This
I'm
is the top one for me.
Oof.
It's not
Man,
for me.
there's.
That's for sure.
Oh, you know what? No, it's not. It's not. It's at least third. It's at least third, possibly fourth or fifth.
Fair enough.
The show The Killing beats it out, and so does Stranger Things right now. And then maybe there's a couple others in there that I'm forgetting.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So overall, closing a final book on Game of Thrones, from start to finish, 0 out of 10.
Ooh,
Overall
that's
rating
hard.
for the entire show. 0
The
out of 10.
whole thing.
Whole thing.
Can we just like exclude the
No.
last 2 seasons?
Nope. The entire thing. The good parts, the bad parts, the really bad parts, the extremely terrible parts when we were like, what the fuck are you even writing anymore? From start to finish. Overall rating. I would look at it this way. I would say specifically, I'm sorry, the way that I look at it is that the seasons that were bad, which are the last 2 obviously, easily take off a point apiece for the entire season being bad. For the fact that the Night King literally did nothing, along with his right, left, and dick holders, literally did nothing. That takes off like another point. Like that whole battle itself took off another point. So if I had to rate it, I'd probably put it like, I feel like a 7's pretty okay with that. That's the last 2
Damn.
seasons being absolute shit, taking off a point apiece, and then that battle being shit. I mean, I don't really care about the
I-
Dany stuff because
Before this last season, I would have gave it a 10 for sure.
It used to be my favorite show of all time. Well, that's not true. I mean, nothing's ever going to beat The Office, but it was there. It was close. It was close.
So I crunched the numbers, and I gave every season a 10, but the last two, which I gave a 7 and a 3 respectively,
Damn.
which brought the show down to a 7.5. So that's just that's how badly they screwed it up. They went from an A+ to a C. Good job, guys.
Good job, guys. I would give every season a 10. The last season before the season, I would give a 9. This last season, I honestly was so upset at the end. I probably would want to give it a 1, but because I respect this show, it's 5.
Damn, that's a lot of points up for respect. Jesus.
I
I
mean,
mean, there's a lot of good acting in it still. There's a lot of people doing their best.
Oh,
but
yeah, for sure. I don't blame any of the
Man.
actors for what happened here at all. I mean, even to go back and watch the YouTube videos of like how Amelia Clark basically fell apart whenever she got the script for the last season, and was just like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
none
I
of
can
them saw this
understand.
shit coming. Everybody was completely unimpressed with the last season. I mean, that's been my favorite part of the fact that Game of Thrones is over, is fucking going back and listening to all these people going, yeah.
didn't see it coming.
Nope. All the actors and actresses are just like, best season ever. Woot. So, yeah. Oh, well. Well, you heard it here, folks. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up because we got a fucking podcast to do. So, at the end of all this, I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Make sure you hit those subscribe buttons, those like buttons, those notification buttons. Hit us up in the comments, the Twitters, the Twitches, and we'll see you next time.